All right, here we go, dropping into day 22. We are halfway through the 44-day challenge, if you can believe it, where each day we review a book off of Amazon on how to sell your business and get the information out to you where it is most useful. I'm Scott Duke. You're inside the Wellstand studio. Let's get started today on how to buy and sell a business, how you can win in the business quadrant by Garrett Sutton. This book is part of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad series. I love the Rich Dad, Poor Dad series. It kind of got me started when I was starting out my first business and getting into real estate. And I was really interested to read this book and see what a Rich Dad advisor had to say on how to successfully sell your company. Our first knowledge nugget is all about trust. And we've spoken about trust throughout the 44-day challenge. But what Garrett does is touches base on exactly how you develop trust and keep trust with your customer, with your buyer, when you're going through the process of selling your company. And the way you do that is what you say at the beginning, the initial interactions that you have with the buyer has to be proved true throughout the process of the sale and especially during due diligence. What you say needs to be verifiable. And if you do that, every time they look for something that you said and it comes back as truth, you've just built trust. That is knowledge nugget number one. Our next knowledge nugget is on attorneys, and Garrett talks about how incredibly important it is to choose an attorney who is specialized in business transaction, and even better if they're specialized in tax strategy. So if you can find an attorney specialized in tax and specialized in business transaction, grab onto them and ditch any other attorney you have who's a generalist. They may be great for you when you went through setting your business up or when you were going through a divorce or something of that nature, but you need a specialized attorney for the transaction of your company. Knowledge nugget number 3 is on tax strategy and how important it is to get a tax specialist, whether it be your attorney like mentioned in the point above, or a CPA who specializes in this, because every business is different. And no matter what price you sell your company for, you want to make sure that you retain as much of those earnings as you possibly can and keep as much as you can away from the tax man, which everyone is entitled to. So there's 5 things that Garrett talks about when you're thinking about tax strategy. And it is what you're actually selling, how you're selling it, your business structure, the length of ownership, and when and how you'll be paid. These are the 5 high-level items that differentiate different businesses from one another and change your tax strategy depending on where you fit into those 5 categories. So very important that you have, again, a specialist in this area. Now this rolls into our first quote on page 144 that is about tax strategy, and you'll be able to glean a lot of information from this. So basically it says, if you are selling the assets of your business, remember you can sell your assets or you can sell your shares. So this is if you're selling your assets. Negotiate for increased allocated value to capital gains assets so you pay less tax. So when you sell your company, say the ultimate sale price is $1 million, you're going to have to allocate what percentage of that sale price goes towards the assets that you sold. The more you can shift to your assets, the better, because assets get taxed at a lower rate than your income gets taxed at, than your regular earnings. So you want to ensure that you can shift as much as possible. That's a big tip from Garrett. That's going to save you a lot of money when you go to close your business. The second quote is on environmental. And this comes up specifically, it comes up in most business sales, but it definitely comes up when you own the building and you're selling the building with your company. It says, how do you protect yourself? If you have the slightest inkling, suspicion, or concern that hazardous waste could be an issue, you may want to have a phase 1 environmental report prepared. My thoughts are just do it. It's going to come out of the woodwork at some point, so you might as well get ahead of it. Do the phase 1, then you have proof that there's no environmental concerns. And if the phase 1 does come up with an issue, then you can go to the phase 2, you can address it before that's found out by the buyer during due diligence and it completely kills the deal. Even worse than that is the purchaser purchases your company, it goes all the way through, then they find out there's some environmental issues and go after you through a lawsuit. So all scenarios are bad. So if you think that there may be a chance of any environmental concern, get a phase 1 done, It's Garrett's suggestion. It's my suggestion. And lastly, our major takeaway from how to buy or sell a business is trust, but verify. Whether it's you trusting the buyer and verifying that they have enough funds to actually purchase your business, or it's them trusting you that the financial projections that you have are accurate, everyone needs to have trust in the deal, but you always want to verify. All right, guys, this is day 22, halfway through the 44-day challenge. Happy to have you on board. Happy to have you watching, getting this information out to you. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow in day 23 when we review another book and get it out online to all the social channels that you enjoy following. Thanks so much. Have a great one.